What's happening, people? I'm here with the main man.
It's the champ.
Make sure you tune into Pep Talk UK, where it talks boxing and
big up.
Thank you, AJ.
Pep Talk UK.
Ladies and gents, for the fight fans locked in, for the football fans locked in, now it's time for some real talk on Pep Talk. Let's go!
Everyone talk good game, but it don't really faze me. The man that ain't mad like Max, the boy not murky like Ace B. And them gal whoppers lying on the back, balling like a baby.
Oi, oi. Welcome to the Pep Talk UK Sports Podcast, the podcast that talks the major boxing and football news from around the globe, real points of view from a real panel. Hashtag real talk on Pep Talk. Please subscribe to Pep Talk UK on iTunes and YouTube. Don't forget to like, share and comment. Now I'm your host Frankie B, aka Pro Bees, and I'm joined by a sick panel. Now first up, he's back in the building. He sips red wine, he has his baguette every Sunday morning. It's my main man Pascal. How you doing, bro?
Frankie B, I'm very well, and unlike all of you British fans, I'm a bit disappointed by the departure of Arsene Wenger.
Are you disappointed?
It's one more French person at the job center, you know. So it's not a very pleasant sight to see. But you know, I think that in the grand scheme of things, it was an important decision to be made, and you know, given that he was at the club for 22 years, I think that it's time for change, and we welcome change. And I think that you know, it would be better for Arsenal Football Club to sever the relationship with Arsene Wenger now, rather than to make things more difficult. So I'm a bit sad because, you know, he did help elevate the French football, you know, in terms of being able to produce good managers outside of the French league. You know, he's done very well for himself. And I'm just pleased that he's been able to put France on the map for such a long time. But unfortunately, he began to become the laughing stock of France as a result of his bad performances.
We'll get into that. But my view is we were taking way too many L's, you know, to Brighton, Bournemouth, mate. The list goes on. But
it's true.
But we'll talk about that in a little while. And Pascal, do you want to shout out your social media?
Oui, bien sûr. My social media has been very active lately, so please follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and it's Pascal_the_sad. Merci.
Excellent stuff, Pascal. Right. Now I've got a couple of Wenger outs to join us.
There's no more Wenger outs, no more.
That's it. It's not needed now.
It's done.
Mission complete, as they say. Right, back on the show. Turn of Turkish. How you doing, my bro?
Yes, how's it going, everyone? You alright, yeah?
Yeah, I'm doing well, mate. You know, as I was saying, you know, you've got your wish.
Yeah, well, mission's not complete, though. Mission's not complete, trust me. It's not complete yet, but this is definitely It wasn't all his fault. It wasn't, but he was the key. So
you're not going to get into like a celebrity boxing match with him next, are you?
No, that's too much. He's gone now. Let him do his thing at PSG or France next. Let him do his thing.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Now, Turkish, you know, I understand your YouTube channel's fully underway, mate. You want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, to be honest, I was getting a lot of messages saying that we want to hear your perspective more. But me personally, I've never been a vlogging type or a YouTube type, but now I've got myself a little camera. I thought, why not? So yeah, I just started it up the other day. It happens that I started it up and 4 days later Wenger leaves, so my first actual video was about Wenger.
Bare material.
Coincidentally, yeah. So I've got a few videos that's going to be coming out soon regarding next management and what I think about the departure. But yeah, people can subscribe. That's Turkish.Arsenal, and my Twitter is Turkish Arsenal. So yeah, that's me.
My guy, subscribe, my guy. Right, finally, we've got another Wenger out. But this man he's built like a ton of bricks, mate. This is like the modern day Scott Steiner himself.
Big Papa Pump.
It's Big Kenny Ken, more like. How you doing, bro?
Like I said, it's been a weekend and a half. I was at work. One of my mates, Hassan, who's known for telling stories taller than Mount Everest, said Wenger is leaving. I said, Hass, shut up, it's one of your tall stories. And one guy went, no, Ken, it's on. 5 people had to tell me. And I said, this is ridiculous. I looked on the website, BBC website, and went to Sky Sports, I went all over the place, and I got a message from Claude, said, I've been asked to go outside Highbury. I'm being interviewed by Sky Sports. Went, oh my God, he's gone. I defy anyone who's working on a Friday, regardless of whether you're an Arsenal fan or just a football fan in general, I would be shocked if anyone got any work done on Friday, because I didn't. It was a complete shock, but it had to be done.
You know, you're raring to go, mate. You're ready to let loose, my brother. Can you shout out any social media before we get into the boxing first?
I'm just on Twitter. I'm on Kenny12 Arsenal. Sorry, it's KennyKen1972. That's my email address, Kenny12 Arsenal. But yeah, it's Kenny101972. It's all about Arsenal and boxing. No trolling. It's not worth it. You know, like I said, I know for a fact that, you know, it wouldn't be pleasant if you saw me in person. So let's be friends, eh?
So, you know, put some respect on Kenny's name. You don't want to see him down the dark alley, I'll tell you that much. Alright, let's get into the boxing. Yes, we ready. It's real talk, it's pep talk. So we're going to start with the boxing. Amir Khan made a spectacular return to the ring, disposing of Phil Lo Greco in 40 seconds at the Liverpool Echo Arena. Now, Pascal,
wait,
King Khan is back. He is back, baby.
He certainly came back in emphatic fashion. You know, the hand speed to me was glaring. He showed that he still possesses that much needed speed and power that comes with the skill that Amir Khan brings to the ring, you know, and I was very pleased for him, because after that knockout to Canelo, you never truly know how a boxer can come back to the ring, you know, the anxiety, the nervousness and everything else, but he showed that Amir Khan is ready to get back to the center stage and to give us many more exciting nights of boxing. You know, I do like Amir Khan because he's a very interesting individual. You never quite know what you're going to get with him, you know, and the fact that he's such an honest person in terms of, he has this willingness of airing out his dirty laundry in public, and also having exciting performances in the ring makes him an interesting character. And I don't think he means to do that. It's just the way that he is. He's a bit of a liability sometimes, but it's what makes Amir Khan so exciting.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people forget the fact that he's a two-time world champion.
Yes, of course, yes.
And we've got to give him full credit, because Lo Greco went the distance with Sean Porter as well.
Yes, yes, of
Errol
course.
Spence took longer to dispose of him, so, all fair dues. He's been out for, almost 2 years, and he's beat a creditable opponent in 40 seconds.
I agree with you. This is a young man that went to the Olympics at the age of 17. And from then on he pushed on and he became, a two-time world champion. And he has some very good fighters, that he's defeated in his resume. Carlos Medina, Zab Judah, to name but a few. So this is a talent, and we want to see Amir Khan. I think he's approaching the twilight of his career, though. I do not believe that he can excel any more than he has before. I think that he can probably get a world title, but Frankie B, the welterweight division is completely stacked,
totally stacked.
With a lot of good talents, and I'm just worried that the absence of the ring at that level, could make him a bit more vulnerable. For instance, we talked about Errol Spence and Sean Porter. I mean, those two fighters would give Amir Khan a lot of problem. The good thing about Amir Khan is that he's got fantastic reach and fantastic speed.
Yeah, and you know what?
His
and at
footwork is also very
147,
impressive.
That's it. And at 147, he can really utilize his speed against his opponents. Whereas when he goes up to light middle, again, his chin is very subject to to being exposed by bigger fighters.
I agree. And the unfortunate thing in boxing, Frankie, you know this very well, that once you've tasted knockout defeats, you know, your brain has this ability to shut down, you know, because it doesn't want to take more punishment. Your body will react to it because it would cast his mind back to a period of time where this has happened before. So, you know, we know that Amir Khan is definitely, you know, vulnerable to you know, to big punches. He can, you know, take some good punches, but unfortunately, you know, the knockout punch is always there for any fighter that can land it on the button. And I'm just worried that at that level, particularly if you consider the Errol Spence, the Sean Porter and some of the other welterweights
who actually have good chins as well.
Exactly, you know, and have also been more active in the ring against decent opposition. You know, it becomes a different proposition for Amir Khan. I think Amir Khan wants the big fight. He wants the big money fights. He knows that his days are numbered and that he cannot take more punishment also. So I think he's going to be very strategic in his choice of opponents. And yes, I've heard that he's calling out Adrian Broner as a potential opponent for his next fight, which would be great to see, because I think that I would love to see Adrian Broner in fighting in the UK. You know, it will be great. It will be a very good night of boxing, and I believe that they both need the profile at this stage of their careers.
Well, Kenny Ken, speaking in the future, there was one man that he's got a rivalry with that stepped into the ring afterwards. That is Mr. Kell Brook, mate. Now, potentially, this fight could happen this year, but again, we've said that many times before.
Well, I think what's happened is that it's at a stage where both fighters will need each other. Kell Brook, he's on the back of, remember he's had two very bad defeats to Golovkin and Errol Spence Jr. Both were down to eye injuries, where like Golovkin was overpowered him, and I think Errol Spence did it for speed and deceptive power, and he was very elusive to hit, and he was like quick jab, you know, like I said, left hooks, right hooks, and he was in and out. Yeah. And you know, Kell had to take a knee. So I think in terms of his credibility, you know, like he would need Amir Khan just as much as Amir Khan would need him. Another thing was with Kell as well. Sad to say, Kell's not really, in my opinion, a pay-per-view fighter. He's a very good fighter, but he doesn't sell. He's not marketable around around the world like Amir Khan is. Amir Khan's
been in America and all that. Yeah,
definitely. That's where he makes money. Another thing as well, he fights a lot of because he fights a lot of Hispanic fighters. He's very known around the Hispanic community. And if you look in America, the Hispanic community of basically are not only massive football fans, but the massive boxing fans as well. The thing is, everyone talks about Amir's chin, but you've got to talk about Kell as well. One of the things is that Kell's always said that, you know, Amir Khan's very delicate around the whiskers, and that actually beats speed.
And then chocolate brownies will land in there, spark him out.
Yeah, and he's going to put them in the oven. Well, he put them in the oven against Errol Spence Jr. and he didn't manage to land very much. Now that's one of my biggest worries about Kell Brook when he does fight Amir, and vice versa when Amir fights Kell Brook. Everyone knows Amir is very, very chinny, and if you catch him clean, he'll go out. But it's the same with Kell as well. Amir's speed as well is going to be very defective, and Amir's a very clever boxer as well. He's going to know that Kell's got problems with both his eyes, and he's had surgery in both his eyes, so there's nothing to stop Amir from doing like quick jab, in and out, and blah, and aim for those eyes, because that is going to be Amir's sort of best tactic. And if Kell gets some injuries around the eye area, he's not going to be seeing the punches coming. In that respect, Amir has got just as much an advantage as Kell. Kell obviously has got the power. He's a very good boxer, but he isn't what I call.
He's got good timing.
He's very good timing, and he hits extremely hard, and I mean extremely hard. Not so much a knockout punch, but when he hits you, it really hurts. I've seen him fight live, and I tell you now, it hurts. Like when I've seen Amir Khan fight, it's basically like a butterfly, but he does sting, but he catches you without you. But I think the money is there, the interest is there as well from the British public. I don't think it'll be there. Yep. I don't think it will interest many people across the pond. I think maybe people like Amir Adrian Broner might be interested. Sean Porter might show a bit of interest, might want to get the winner. But if any of those two fighters like Sean Porter and Adrian Broner want to make money, they're going to have to come to England in order to make the money, because I don't see any fights against the both of them selling in the States. Probably if both of them fought Amir Khan, but Kell Brook, no, I'm sorry, not convinced.
Yeah. But I think crucially, if the fight does go ahead, I think it really depends on the weight that they fight at.
Well, it's definitely a catch weight, because, like I said, both of them are struggling to make 147. Like I said, I think
so
maybe
150, isn't it?
Yeah, it would definitely be at 150, and I think what will happen is that it probably I think it probably suit Amir, because I think he's quite a bigger man. I don't think it will suit Kell, and I think if Kell fights at 150, I think it's actually going to slow him down. Because I know although he says that he struggles to make 147, he's actually carries more power at 147 than I think he would do at 150. So I think it's a very risky fight for Kell. But obviously, what Kell's got over Amir is the knockout punch, and Amir's chinny. But so Kell's vulnerable as well, especially with both surgery of both his eyes.
Well, Turkish, happy to see the great comeback by Amir Khan, and did it kind of whet the appetite for a possible fight with Kell Brook?
Yeah, to be honest, that fight should have happened years ago, the Brook Khan fight. Yeah. I think Khan did well to avoid it the first couple of years, because I feel like now if he does get this fight,
the timing's all right, innit? Yeah.
The timing is right for him, I think. Like Ken said, the timing's right for both of them. They both need each other right now.
Do you think Amir Khan is scared because Kell Brook is chasing the fight? He's always saying, let's fight. And Amir Khan's always interested in doing something else or looking at options. Even that confrontation they had in the ring last weekend, he was calling Amir Khan, and Amir Khan just kind of said, look.
He was out of it.
Yeah, he just kind of left. And I'm like, look, mate, are you going to fight him or what?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like I said, that's why I said he's been avoiding him. The first couple of years when Brook's been calling him out, it just felt like Khan was overlooking him, and Brook was putting in performance after performance them times. But yeah, he's done well to come through this last fight in 40 seconds. Like you said, he lasted longer against Porter and Spence, so it was a good showing. And the talks of the Broner fight are also, to me, Khan takes the more exciting fights than the fights the fans really want to see. So I think he will take the Broner fight if it is there ahead of the Brook fight. I just see more money in it for him.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I think on this shores, like I said, I want this rivalry put to bed. And if these two can get it together, they both signed the matchroom. Eddie Hearn and the team will definitely build the fight in the right way. You can imagine the gloves are off between the two.
Yeah.
You can imagine a stadium filled with boxing fans, and the build up to that fight. So really, it really needs to happen, and it needs to happen.
100%.
It needs to happen this year, because next year I think it's going to be it's going to be too long.
Yeah, I think next year would have just outlasted this worth, really. I think Eddie Hearn needs to Hearn's a good businessman. He knows he needs to get it done this year, and I think it'll happen, to be honest.
And Eddie, it's unlikely, but if you're listening, Eddie, make the fight Eddie. Now it's interview time, and this week we feature boxing, football and music. Now first up, our man on the ground, Mr. Shaz Smack, caught up with a young man that will compete in the Ricky Hatton and Paulie Malignaggi endorsed Ultimate Boxer. Be going down this weekend in Manchester. Now let's hear from one of the boxers taking part. It's Isaac Mcleod.
Pep Talk UK have made the short journey into Essex territory, Peter Simms Gym, and are joined by a young man fighting this weekend, Mr. Isaac Can Bang Mcleod. How you doing?
I'm good, are you alright, mate? I'm good, really well.
Now, Isaac, I want to know one thing straight off the bat. Can Bang, where did you get that nickname from?
I will ask my girlfriend, Patrick Swayze hips, that's what they call me, swivel lips.
Listen, I don't buy that. The man got it because he can bang and he can throw a punch, and he's a good little boxer. Now, Isaac, I've been following your career as an amateur. Tell the peeps listening in about your amateur career.
I won the ABAs 5 times ABA champion, 3 times GB champion, youth European gold medalist, and youth world silver medalist. So I was on the Great Britain team, and I just suffered from depression a bit, so I walked away from boxing from a little short time, about a year or so, and left the GB team, got back into boxing and turned pro. Just thought it was best for my style and just best to move forward with a little bit of a change. So
now, you touched upon depression as an amateur.
Yep.
What was it? Was it weight cutting? Was it the lifestyle? Was it the lack of support that young boxers get?
No, I think obviously boxing's a tough game, but I lost my brother when I was like 15, 16, so that just played like a massive part, you know what I mean? Obviously, it just...
Your brother Luke, he was only 18, was he, at the time?
Yep, 18, so just the things I saw then are just like haunts us even now when he went to sleep with his mates and didn't wake up, and just sometimes now I even struggle to sleep myself, so I just never be able to get that out of my mind, really.
You turned over as a pro, signed with Warren, 9 fights under your belt, and now you've left Sunderland, the North East, and you're in Essex. What are you doing there?
Well, I was signed with Frank, and he promised us a world which he didn't deliver on anything really, but I got in touch with Charlie, and Charlie's was happy for us to come down, spot Ted Cheeseman, and he liked the look of us, and he liked the sound of my career and what I've done and where I'm going to go. So
how are you settling in with Peter Sims, with Donnell Smith?
Great nowadays. Donnell's class coach, one of the best coaches around, and he's young himself, so it's good for, he knows he's in the time, so I feel really good. I just can't wait to get out and fight now.
Now, Donnell, I feel, is one of the best coaches in the country,
by far.
Underrated. He's being laughed at in the background, but I've seen him on the pads with people, and he puts people through their paces. Oh,
he does. He's great coach, and just as soon as I got down with gel straight away. So it just, you need to gel with your coach. If not, then you're just wasting your time. And I feel like I've just came on leaps and bounds since being down here. So I feel great.
Now you've entered the Ultimate Boxer tournament this weekend coming up. You're fighting on that. 8 of you that are undefeated boxers, all welterweights. You're up first off the bat with Kremner. How? 3 fights one night. Why?
No, it's easy work for me, really. I've been, like you see, when I've been World Championships, European Championships, you fight like 5-6 fights in a week, so 3 fights in a night it sounds much, but if you can just make easy work with them, then it's just nice.
Hit and not get hit.
That's it, just hit and not get hit.
Prize money, good little prize fund at the end of it.
It is, it's good money, and that's what obviously everyone's in for, the money, where I'm just in to win a few more fights. Money's nice, but I'm in there just to win.
It's getting a lot of traction, people are going to be watching that fight, there's going to be big social media on it. Is it life changing, do you feel?
It's not life changing, but it puts me in the right direction of where I want to be, and sets us up for bigger things.
Now, when we talk about bigger things, you've already put yourself in front of the board. Vacant English title. You're up for that, aren't you?
Yep, I think it's Freddie Coito. I'm fighting for that, so hopefully get that by the end of August, and showroom levels as well, and win that English title and bring that back to Sunderland.
Well, we'll wish you all the best. We hope it all goes well for you. go get that winner on the weekend, and I'm sure we'll be out with you partying afterwards.
Definitely. Popping bottles there, like Pat McCormack says.
Nice one, buddy. We'll speak to you later. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you, Isaac. All the best in the competition. Next up, ahead of the Conifa World Cup at the end of May, around 11 grounds in London, I caught up with the General Secretary. Let's hear from Sascha Dorkov.
Oi, it's your boy Frankie B, reporting for Pep Talk UK. I've run into another boss this week. He is the General Secretary of Conifa, the Confederation of Independent Football Associations, the international governing body for non-FIFA affiliated association. I'd like to welcome himself, Sascha Dorkov. How you doing, geez?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Welcome to London. You've come at the right time. The sun's shining. Good time for you to be over here.
Yeah, absolutely. My first time in 5 years, and I got the perfect weather this time. So great to be here.
It looks like you brought the sun with you. Right, now, Sascha, you're not over here to see Big Ben or to see the Tower Bridge of London. You're over here on some business, mate. Is that right?
Yeah, I hope I get my share of Big Ben, but I'm here for business, mainly to meet all the venues of our next World Cup, which will be in London. So I'll meet around 10 different football clubs over the next 3 days.
Okay, so what exactly is going on? Can you tell us a bit about... tell us a bit about Conifa, first of all, for the people that are not entirely sure.
Sure, Conifa is actually like FIFA, but we are more like an addition to FIFA, so we work with national teams of people who represent some entity which is not a part of FIFA. So this can be countries, but they can also be stateless nations or minorities. So those kind of national teams are all under our umbrella, and they have a system with us which is similar to FIFA. So we have World Cups, European Cups, also African and Asian Cups in the future. And we just founded in 2013, so we are still in an early phase. But this year we will have our third World Cup here in London with 16 teams for the first time, coming from 5 continents. So it's growing quickly.
What are some of the teams that are going to be involved in the competition?
All kinds, really. So it's starting with UN-recognized nations like Tuvalu, which are not in FIFA, unfortunately. Then we do have a couple of unrecognized states like Northern Cyprus or Abkhazia, which is in the Caucasus. And then a couple of minorities. So the host, for example, is Barawa, which is a small Swahili-speaking minority in Somalia. But most of the team is based in London as refugees. So, it's really all kind of teams representing their people.
And what about the actual date of the World Cup that's up and coming? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, the World Cup will start on the 31st of May and will go 10 days until the 10th of June. We will have 16 teams, we will have 4 groups of 4, and the classical system for that. The only difference is that we also have a plate tournament, so we play for the very last place in the tournament, just so that every team gets their 5 matches in the 10 days. So they didn't travel all the way from Tuvalu for just 2 matches.
And for the people that don't know, who are the type of players that we should be looking out for that really shone at the last competition?
The names are hard, but there is one striker for the Tamil team. We do have a Sri Lankan Tamil team, and the top striker, Panushant Kulenthiran, is probably one of the best players in the tournament. And apart from that, Abkhazia will bring a couple of players from the Russian Premier League. And one of those guys has over 80 caps for the Syria national team. His name is Al Shamel. He's also a top-class player. So the quality is a big range from complete amateurs to full professionals.
And what about sponsors? I understand you've got a big one behind you, Paddy Power, is that right?
Yeah, Paddy Power is the title sponsor for this year. So they teamed up with us and go all the way with us to make this tournament a big success and make actually Conifa more well known in the UK and Ireland in particular.
And long term, where are you looking to take Conifa? How big can this federation grow?
Well, we are growing at a rate of approximately 10 to 15 new members a year, which is enormous. So we don't want to grow much more. Actually, we want to have more options for our team. So we want to have regular continental tournaments every year in every continent. So that's the next big step. And then we finally need to get some proper funding between the tournaments, because for now we are all volunteers. So this has to change, as we have to do more and more work, put more work in it, and the responsibility just got too much.
Do you think the Conifa World Cup being so close to the actual FIFA World Cup, is there any conflict that might happen in terms of like viewing audiences?
No, it's actually on purpose, because it's the week before the FIFA World Cup, so everyone will be bored by England having another training session and nothing happening. So that's exactly why we choose usually the week before the World Cup for our World Cup.
You being German also as well, you've got to let me know the secret of penalty taking. We just can't seem to crack it, mate.
That's a good question. Actually, our national team coach is claiming that they never train it, so I don't know how it works.
It's been a pleasure. We hope you enjoy your time.
Thank you. To your followers, it would be great if you could go to eventum.co.uk and get your tickets for the matches. We would love to see you all down at the grounds, and obviously meet you again.
And would you like to shout any social media handles?
Yeah, we are at Conifa Official on Twitter and Confederation of Independent Football Associations on Facebook.
Excellent. Thank you, Sascha. Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Thank you, Sascha. We'll be supporting the Conifa World Cup come the end of May. The Pep Talk girl, Rhea Richards, managed to catch up with a bright talent in music, especially Afro beats. It's Maulo.
Hey, this is Rhea Richards with Pep Talk UK, and currently I am joined by Maulo, who has just released his first single, Fine. How are you, Maulo?
I'm feeling good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. So Maulo, you're not just a performer, you also love boxing yourself.
Yeah, I love boxing a lot. Majorly the ones in the UK. So yeah,
that's where boxing is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm a big fan of the British boxing at the moment.
Obviously, we've got David Haye and Bellew fighting on the 5th of May.
Yeah.
Who are you backing for that one?
Do you know what? I love Tony Bellew to do it again, but I think it's going to be a bit difficult this time around, because David Haye looks really good. He's in shape at the moment, so I think David Haye might do it this time, but I'd love for Tony Bellew to do it again.
I kind of feel for both of them as well, because you know, I want to support both of them. They're both very iconic. Yeah, obviously one needs to take it, and I think I'll be happy either way. But yeah, obviously you've just released your first single, Fine. Do you have any plans for an album?
So speaking to my producer yesterday, actually, what we're planning on doing is we're gonna release 2 other songs before the end of the year, and that way sort of circulate so people get to know who I am, what I'm about, what style, my style, what sort of music I'm trying to produce. So hopefully by the end of this year we should start working. Actually, we've already started working on it, so we're working on a project that should be coming out mid 2019, so next year, but before the end of the year I should be releasing like a couple more free stuff. So yeah,
because I know that you've got everybody excited already. They're all sort of hitting you up all the time now. When's the next one? When's the mixtape? Because I'm only new to this as well, so I'm learning as I go along with it. I'm really enjoying it at the moment, so we've got a few stuff coming out, so look out for it. There's a few stuff coming out soon. So if you just tell the listeners a little bit more about your style, what kind of music?
It's Afrobeat, so more leaning towards like Nigerian sort of style, because that's where I'm from. My parents are from Nigeria as well, so my influence comes from like people like Wizkid, which is like he's like the top Afrobeat artist in Africa and Nigeria.
Have you got any other performances lined up this year?
So on the same day I've got a performance at a Penthouse birthday party, and then on the 6th of May I've got another performance in Watford at a club called Canvas, and then last Saturday of the month in July I've got another performance in Marbella. So it's just all happening so quick. So yeah, closer to the dates, like more information would be out on my social media pages and all their social media pages as well.
Okay, and talking about your social media, how can people get involved? How can they follow you?
Mainly Instagram, really. I don't really use Twitter. So my Instagram is @Maulo, MAULO RHIDDY, and then Snapchat is Maulo_Ready, RHIDDY. So yeah.
Okay, cool. And are you posting on there frequently?
I try.
Keeping everybody involved with what you're doing.
Yeah, I try when I can.
And obviously the single's available to buy now on iTunes and all other digital platforms.
Yeah. So you got the video on YouTube, and then the audio is available on all of our digital platforms. So we've got iTunes, Spotify mainly, and so go check it out, man. I hope you enjoy it.
Well, I definitely enjoyed it, so I hope that the listeners enjoy it, and I think that there's going to be big things coming for you, so keep on going, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much. Thank you, yeah.
Thank you, Maulo, and thank you, Ria. Cracking stuff. Now it's football time. So last week there's a shock around the world, a shock around France, a shock around the Premier League. Wenger says au revoir at the end of the season. Now, Pascal, has this announcement really... does it feel real to you? You know, Wenger's been there for 22 years. I mean, I was in school when he was appointed, which is how long he's been in the job. We've seen him survive in the Premiership for decades. But, as of anything, there's a beginning and there's always an end. And Wenger is no longer going to be Arsenal boss.
He's certainly not. I have the feeling that, as Kenny Ken said earlier, that there was a mutual agreement for him to leave at the end of the season, because if you recall, I believe that I believe that he had to accept the decision that was made by the board, and it was quite brave of the board to make that call. I'm just a bit concerned that the board should have made that decision 2 years ago. I think after Wenger beat Chelsea in the FA Cup, I think he should have taken the opportunity to leave. Perhaps the board could have done a bit more and decided to terminate the contract and maybe allow for an interim management position until a much more suited manager could actually come and take over the team. Because at that point,
because you think of the managers that Arsenal missed out on. You look at Liverpool's success, Jurgen Klopp. Mate, they're going to be, for me, they're virtually in the final of the Champions League, right?
Well, it's 5-2, there's still more to play. The Italians are very good at doing an Italian job on you, so I think we should give the second leg an opportunity to be played, because if, there's still 3 goals that can be scored at home to Roma, and it's definitely doable. Liverpool's defense is still a bit suspect, but in terms of what Arsenal should have done, I don't believe that they should have given Wenger this 2-year contract if they felt that Wenger wasn't up to the job, and there was always concerns about Wenger's ability.
Too much sentiment in that contract offer.
There was a bit too much of that, and also I felt that there was not enough strategic thinking from the board, to look at a replacement. I felt that it was the fans who were the catalyst for change, where the board themselves would not have done anything about it had the fans not been vocal about it.
Yeah, but they voted with their feet, and
they certainly did, and it hurts their pockets, because the stadium attendance, the lack of people coming to the stadium, doesn't paint a good picture internationally. I think Arsenal still lag behind in terms of having that global presence. We don't have the same influence as the Real Madrid and the Manchester United, and I think it's important for Arsenal, who are a legacy club, in my opinion, to showcase that there is a collective support, and that weekly games are well attended. And also, it's the only way that Arsenal can get investors and get better sponsorships, and it is a big problem to see empty stadiums. So unfortunately, Wenger is not bigger than the club, and there was a decision for him to go. For many years, we've been listening to some very interesting press conferences from Arsene Wenger, that were bordering Une seed. To some
and he was getting kind of annoyed in a lot of the press conferences. I remember watching one the other day when he was saying, "Well, why do you look at me?"
It's certainly a man, you know, I mean, I don't want to bring his personal life, but, you know, Wenger also recently divorced his wife, so I think, you know, a lot of these things do play a part, you know, in your mental health and mental stability, and, you know, we need to take that into consideration, that a lot has happened in his personal life, and I think that it might have caused an impact on his ability to perform the job at Arsenal, and I just like to see someone that can take over and take Arsenal to the next level, and I would like to have a conversation, you know, in the next few years about Arsenal being in the semi-final of the Champions League. You know, that's the place that is certainly the kind of conversation that we should be aiming for in this new era.
Right. Well, the Arsenal Out Brigade joined us today. Kenny Ken, Turkish, and look, let's break it down. Let's break it down where it went wrong. Now, Turkish. In terms of Arsene Wenger, obviously the way I look at it is, okay, it's not quite a tenure of two halves. It's not 11 years were good and another 11 years were bad. It's more a case of probably the first 8 were good, and then after that it started to dip down. I mean, in your humble opinion, what do you think were the reasons for things going wrong?
Dean leaving, or Dean being shown the door was the first key, I think. He did a lot of the transfer work. He did a lot of the scouting and finding the talent and assisting Wenger in his role and allowing Wenger to do the job on the pitch. I think when he left, a lot of emphasis was left on Wenger to do everything, and this is Wenger's plan for the stadium to be built, and it's Wenger's plan to move Arsenal forward. I think it was just all on his shoulders in the end. So I do believe that was the key. I wanted Wenger out a couple of years after the Invincible, after the Champions League final, which was about maybe 2010, well, 2009, I'd say even. It's because I just felt after a few years of not winning the title, we was a big club in England, and usually when you don't win the title in a few years, the manager is up for debate, and I just didn't understand what was going on. We wasn't winning the title, we was going down, we were selling our best players, but there was never no talk of, is Wenger the right man? People convinced me that, okay, the stadium's being paid off, so that gave him another 4 or 5 years in my eyes. When we bought Ozil, that was it for me, because that showed that we have the funds now to buy the top talent. So we bought Ozil on the last day of the transfer window. That year we won our first FA Cup that year. The year we bought Ozil, we won our first FA Cup, and I thought, again, I gave Wenger another chance. If we have money to spend now, he does deserve the chance to spend it.
Yeah, a lot of people said that.
Yeah. So it's not always been like the anti-Wenger rap. I do see it from both sides, but it just got too much. So the next season came, and I think we bought Sanchez the next summer, very early in the summer, and we thought, okay, this is it. We beat Liverpool for Sanchez. Let's move on. Let's buy some more players. I don't think we bought many more in that summer. The morale of the fan base.
He went that whole summer without buying a player. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was the year after. That was the summer after. He bought Czech for 10 million, and he was the only manager in the top 5 leagues not to buy an outfield player. And you just think, come on. Even last year we bought Xhaka early, and we didn't really do much until Lacazette came in. And Lacazette's a signing we should have made 3 years ago. Same thing with Draxler. Draxler's a signing we should have made years ago, but we always seem to
differ. Because even Griezmann said it. He was set to sign for Arsenal, but Arsenal took too long.
Yeah, I don't know if you know, but in January I was going to Paris and I was with Draxler on the train, and I actually had a conversation with him, and I said, Drax, like, what? Firstly, I said, what are you doing here? He was here for an NBA game, but he said the real reason was to see Wenger. So he came to see Wenger, and then he went to the NBA game after. But he even said that he's been talking to Wenger for 2-3 years, and when I said, what is the problem? Draxler out of his own mouth said he doesn't want to spend the money. When other football players are saying this, footballers are saying this, and add to the fact I've been to Munich last year to see us lose 5-1, and the Munich fans singing, what do we think of Arsenal shit? for Wenger to come out the other day and basically blame people like me or Ken or Claude or Troops and say the fans have disrespected the club worldwide, I think it's very sour and petty. I mean, even us as Wenger out the brigade or whatever it is, I'm willing to let it go. You've said it's over now, but that was a very cheeky, underhanded comment. I mean, you're basically reigniting all the Wenger in fans to basically blame us continually now.
You know what's funny though? You remember over Easter when the stadium's empty, and the journalist said to him, "Look, there was a lot of red seats. You can see. Well, it's like, well, it's the Easter holidays. People are away.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, it's crazy.
Have you heard it all? Thursdays, he said one day he said it was snowing. I think that was the AC Milan away. At home. He's very arrogant, and he the way he talks is like he thinks us fans have no brains. He's many a times he said these fans have never managed one game in their life. They can't tell me nothing. But excuse me, of course we can. We watch the games. How can we not have an opinion? For him to say such a thing, I mean, he doesn't have a great footballing background on the pitch. What did Arsene Wenger do on the football pitch? So anything he's learned, exactly. So anything he's learned is more as a fan or a lover of the game. So for him to put down fans in such a way and say they haven't managed one game, mate, you are a fan that managed to make it as a manager. So don't put us down, and also put us down by telling us the ticket prices are the true value of the football on show. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Klopp came to Liverpool, and in the first 6 months, he said the Liverpool fans are right. The ticket prices in Germany, it's not this much. It needs to be brought down. The next week, Henry and the Liverpool board, they brought the ticket prices down. That week, Wenger was asked about ticket prices, and he is someone that all these Wenger-in fans, they say he loves us, he loves the club. Well, he could have said, I don't comment on ticket prices. He could have easily said that to ignore it. Or he could have come out like Klopp and backed the fans. He didn't choose either of them options. He chose to come out and basically slap every fan in their face and say, we're better than Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. This is why we make you lot pay this money. Is he crazy or something? He really, and this is why Ken was right in terms of the sentimental side of things. Now I can't let this go, because he nearly made me fall out of love with football completely.
Bro, he did it to me, bro. I'm not going to
forgive him for that,
bro. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. To be honest, I think Wenger started pep talk. I'm not going to lie to you, because bro, I used to go to the stadium in Pascal on a regular basis. I became so dismayed with our performances and what was happening in the transfer market. So I just kind of stopped going, to be honest. I only went to the odd game here or there. For me, quite personally, his failings was he moved away from what was his successful formula. Big, strong players, defense, good spine, Campbell, Vieira, Henry, goalkeeper, Lehmann, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Solid spine. And now, if you look at the spine now, it's actually spineless. So, you know when Barcelona beat us in the Champions League final all them years back? For some strange reason, he had some sort of infatuation with Barcelona after that, because straight away he dismantled he took all the power from the team straight away, all the strength, all the power, and all of a sudden we had all these little tiny players that were skillful and had a lot of finesse, but again there was no aggression, there was no power. So Ken, for you, where did it go wrong for Monsieur Wenger?
I'll tell you when our decline started. The decline started on in October 2004, Pizzagate at Man United. Because what's happened? That's when our decline started. Because people talk about the 2005-2006 season being a very successful season. That wasn't a successful season. Yes, we got the Champions League final, but we only scraped the top four. And what happened is that teams from Pizzagate 2004 had the blueprint to play Arsenal, because that's when Arsenal became soft. We still had Edu, we still had Vieira, we had players like Reyes and Fabregas. Man United kicked us off the park and succeeded in beating us in the game. From that day on, we became soft. 2005-2006 season, when we lost Vieira, we became a soft team. He built the side around Cesc Fabregas and started to go down a sort of Barcelona. Small, formed players who are very good technically and can move the ball quickly. And what happened is that teams in that season like Bolton, Blackburn, Newcastle, West Brom kicked us off the park. We had a very, very poor away record where we lost 11 games. Had it not been for Lasagna in 2005-2006, the last season at Highbury, we would never have qualified for the Champions League. Yeah. And I put up with that because it was Arsene. 2006-2007, the same situation where we were getting bullied off the park. Mm-hmm. I went to the Cardiff to watch the League Cup final. Yes, our kids got us there, but Chelsea in Cardiff played Drogba, Cech. He came back from head injury. They played Ballack, Carvalho, John Terry, Lampard, their best team, and that man played the kids. And I award that because it was Arsene Wenger, because of what he did, and I put up with that. 2007-2008, when we should have won the league, we needed our most experienced goalkeeper. Even though he made mistakes, Lehmann, he decided to play Manuel Almunia because he didn't want Almunia to leave the club. And in the time after, from March, when we were struggling to see teams off, when we needed a leader and experience of the team, he carried Almunia, and I wore that. Yeah. 2009, the semi-final against Chelsea, when Arshavin was bought from Zenit St. Petersburg. He wasn't cup-tied. Mm-hmm. He was in relatively good form.
Yep, he gets
didn't select him. Yep. I wore that. Mm-hmm. 2009, I wore that. And then 1-1 in the semi-final against Chelsea, he takes off Van Persie and Adebayor. Straight after he takes them off, Drogba goes down the field and scores the goal in the 85th minute to make it 2-1. And then our attacking players are on a bench, and we got to have Nicholas Bendtner. I wore that. But when we lost to the semi-final to Man United, when Cristiano Ronaldo scored that 40-yarder past Almunia, all bets were off, and that's when I became Wenger out. So because of Arsene Wenger time at the club, even though I had misgivings about his management, I wore that and I gave him the benefit of that. So don't anyone dare tell me that I just woke up one morning and became Wenger out and that I never gave him the benefit of the doubt, and I wasn't grateful for what he did for that club.
But that's our time. I'd like to thank Turkish, Kenny Ken, Pascal. Join us again next week for another Pep Talk UK podcast. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and leave your comments in the box below. Thank you.